What did the USS Trepang encounter in the Arctic? Several years ago, forums lit up after a series of 1971 Arctic UFO photos were released. It is thought that the photos were obtained by the USS Trepang SSN 674 submarine during a trip between Jan Mayen Island in Norway and Iceland. Some UFO hunters assert that the images show proof of covert U.S. aviation testing, while others argue that the ships are extraterrestrial spacecraft searching for suitable locations for oil drilling. Photos purporting to depict a UFO possibly under attack from U.S. forces crashing into the ocean surfaced in the French magazine Top Secret in 2015. Even though there is disagreement in the UFO field about everything from the photograph's veracity to what they might truly depict, they are incredibly fascinating and most definitely worth our attention. The dramatic photos were allegedly taken in March 1971 near the Arctic Circle between Iceland and Norway from the USS Trepang submarine. Alex Mistretta was one researcher who became interested in them right away, stating that he thought the individual who had brought them to his attention was credible. Official photograph is written next to one of the images. One is marked not to be released, while another reads unauthorized disclosure subject. The fact that they seem to depict sunlight bouncing off both the object's surface, which is floating around 100 feet above the sea, and the water surface makes them more intriguing. When viewed consecutively, they seem to depict an unexplained object that has either emerged from or is moving towards the water. Before it crashes into the sea, the object appears to experience some sort of explosion. For instance, one of the images depicts an item with a cigar-like shape hovering over the water's surface. But in the subsequent image, it seems to be the same vessel hovering just a little above the water's surface and appearing to be spewing smoke in the clouds as if something had gone horribly wrong. What's even more intriguing is that the following photo in the apparent series seems to show the same object, but it has a red dot on it, which some analysts speculate represents the start of an explosion or possibly artillery fire impact. The image that follows depicts the craft appearing to plunge into the ocean with smoke continuing to billow and water rushing upwards at the impact location. Such photos, as one might expect, created quite a sensation in the UFO community. The majority of accounts state that the officer, John Clicker, took the photos while only using the periscope to investigate the area during a military scientific mission led by Admiral Dean Reynolds Sackett. Interestingly, despite being successful, efforts to find these two individuals have not turned up any more information, with both men saying they saw nothing out of the ordinary while on the assignment. Following Sackett and Kilker's claims, Mistretta suggested shortly after the photos were released to the public that they might have been taken by a crew member of the USS Skate, which was in the same area just a month before. Nigel Watson, a UFO researcher, made the perhaps intriguing observation at the time that they were an odd selection of pictures that feature types of UFOs that have been regularly spotted by witnesses in all parts of the world. Interestingly, the images purportedly acquired from the USS Trepang clearly show shapes ranging from triangles to cigars and even discs. As absurd as it sounds, this ability to shape-shift is something that has been mentioned in other reports and theorized by other investigators and researchers. Bill Smiley, a researcher and commentator on UFOs, would say that he believes the pictures may very well be of the same object. Regardless of the veracity of the images, Watson would comment that they definitely had UFO researchers scratching their heads and speculate that an extraterrestrial base might be located in the north. However, as one might expect, a lot of people think that the images might not be as certain as they initially seem. Soon after the photos entered the public domain, John Greenwald of the Black Vault would study them and look into the account's background. He would make sure that the two crew members listed in the report were on board and that Trepang was in the specified area in early 1971. All this demonstrates, though, is that whoever leaked the photos just looked up shipping and Navy data beforehand, which are open to the public if we assume there is some element of falsity to the images. This retired Navy admiral just said that we are in contact with non-human intelligence. Tim Gallaudet, a former rear admiral in the U.S. Navy, says he believes UFO whistleblowers like David Grush, who say the government is conducting covert efforts to recover extraterrestrial life, are credible. In an interview, Vice Admiral Tim Gallaudet discussed the continuous effort to learn more about this innovative technology. He stated that there is a lot of interest and research into its potential to offer a sizable advantage in any military conflict. It's a strong argument in favor of keeping the nature of the technology under wraps. He went on to state that we intend to refrain from disclosing and making public all of the recovered technology, keeping in mind the near future. The goal is to present a complete picture of the circumstances without sacrificing the specifics of the involved technologies. He feels that at this particular moment, it is imperative that we recognize and disclose our interactions with intelligence that is not human. The public should be made aware of this crucial information in order to increase knowledge and comprehension of the phenomena. Giving a thorough explanation of how we interact with non-human intelligence is essential. Gallaudet added another comment regarding these unidentified flying objects, claiming that we are in fact coming across non-human entities with technology that is beyond our comprehension and with as yet unknown motivations. The person in question is an oceanographer with extensive experience who has held prominent roles in the U.S. Department of Commerce. In particular, they have held the positions of acting Under Secretary of Commerce for Oceans and Atmosphere, acting Administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Oceans and Atmosphere. They have a strong expertise in this area and have been instrumental in influencing programs and policies pertaining to atmospheric and marine sciences. He believes with all of his heart that he saw footage of unidentified flying objects while in the Navy. His wartime experiences become even more intriguing in light of this intriguing assertion. The existence of extraterrestrial or non-human intelligence has long been a source of heated discussion and skepticism. Admitting to the public that one believes in these phenomena has frequently resulted in social shame and ridicule. There has been a discernible change in the narrative since media reports of these accusations started to surface. This developing plot is further aided by the notable rise in the frequency of various situations involving the government. Humans tend to be skeptical, and this propensity is essential to developing a more perceptive and clear understanding of the world we live in. We can traverse and interact with reality more skillfully if we cultivate a healthy dosage of skepticism. But when it comes to other topics, such as the possibility of alien life or unexplained flying objects, a lot of people choose to draw a clear line, continuing to be skeptical or rejecting such ideas completely. The scientific community and the armed services have worked together to establish legitimacy and credibility for the last 6 years. Inside the venerable halls of Stanford University, the esteemed Pathology and Immunology Department is home to Dr. Gary P. Nolan. Over the course of his distinguished career, he has made noteworthy advances in the field of cancer research, an area in which the prestigious institution and the U.S. government have collaborated extensively for many years. In light of this stellar resume, Dr. Nolan is without a doubt the best expert available to offer a scientific viewpoint regarding the possibility that extraterrestrial life exists on Earth. The claims made by the person in question are undoubtedly not intended for individuals who are easily alarmed. This audacious assertion sparked a commotion and shocked everyone when it was announced. Had the identical comment come from an average UFO enthusiast undertaking their own study, it probably would have been brushed off with little thought. However, because of his considerable achievements in this sector and his links with the government, Dr. Gary Nolan has a solid reputation. As a matter of fact, even among the most ardent supporters of this field, Dr. Nolan continually chooses to apply science to the evaluation of the numerous instances that he is presented with. Dr. Nolan is so positive that non-human intelligence exists on Earth that it is impossible not to find oneself attracted. He is adamant that there is no room for dispute because intelligence of this kind has already made a significant presence known. In addition, he asserts unequivocally that the case is one of complete clarity, free from any room for doubt. But what's most interesting about his claim, which is that the American government was involved in UFO crash retrieval programs, is that he withheld precise facts from the public. Still, this claim raised the level of mystery around his whole claim. A fleet of UFOs swarm various U.S. Navy ships. A swarm of 3 unidentified objects was seen pursuing 4 U.S. Navy destroyers off the coast of California in a recently released infrared image. The Navy has made public the blurry photo, which purports to depict 3 tiny dots, unmanned aerial systems or UAS hovering close to the USS Paul Hamilton. This was just one of several incidents that naval vessels witnessed over several weeks in July 2019 when numerous destroyers spotted these devices. Around 8 in the evening on July 17th, just after the USS Paul Hamilton stopped using the automatic identification system for location broadcasting, these three unmanned aerial systems suddenly materialized close to the ship. Ships are not compelled to transmit their whereabouts continuously, and when increased security is desired, they typically turn off the transponder. The deck log for the ship does not show this choice, but logs from earlier in the month show that other ships in the vicinity similarly shut off their automatic identification system during unmanned aerial system activity. Furthermore, the UAS did indeed show up shortly after the USS Paul Hamilton turned on its navigation lights. One of these objects was observed 1 nautical mile away just before 8 in the evening. After looking through papers obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, reports stated that 20 minutes later, the timeline shows that 2 more were spotted, one of which fell into the river. A swarm of these mysterious objects was detected by the USS Paul Hamilton about half an hour later, and by 9 in the evening, one of them was positioned exactly 2,000 feet overhead. The unidentified objects left the ship at 9:15, traveling at nearly 70 miles per hour, and returned in less than 10 minutes. It was reported by the USS Hamilton that the swarm continued for over 3 hours. Because reporters only saw the condensed briefing slides, it is uncertain how many UAS the Navy destroyer saw in total. According to news outlets, one of the participating ships, the USS Omaha, disclosed partial ship logs. Reporters claim that the Navy may have introduced portable counter-drone gadgets and that they did carry out countermeasure training later in the week. Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Michael Gilday stated in April 2021 that the military was unable to identify the aircraft, and the Department of Defense has refused to respond to inquiries thereafter. The night of July 14, 2019 saw the start of the drama. To determine who or what the mystery flying objects were, an onboard intelligence squad called the Ship Nautical or otherwise Photographic Interpretation and Exploitation Team was tasked with recording and looking into encounters with unfamiliar vessels. Reports indicate that the USS Kidd entered quiet mode shortly after the sighting, reducing communications while it attempted to determine the extent of the threat. It made contact with the USS Rafael Peralta, a nearby battleship that was also out on patrol, and asked them to use its onboard photo intelligence team. Unusual lights were noticed by several other U.S. Navy destroyers that were patrolling in the area. According to its record, the USS John Finn also noted UAV activity and saw a flashing light at 10. The USS Rafael Peralta noticed a white light hovering over the flight deck a little more than an hour later. Even in bad visibility and at 16 knots, the mysterious object managed to stay in the hover over the destroyer's helicopter landing pad. The approximately 90-minute interaction was far longer than any drone that can be purchased commercially. The drones reappeared the following evening, this time while the battleships were cruising nearer to the Californian mainland. The USS Rafael Peralta was the first to notice them, and at 8:39 p.m., the ship's Ship Nautical or otherwise Photographic Interpretation and Exploitation Team was activated. Logs indicate that the USS Kidd had also encountered drones around 8:56. According to logbooks, drones were flying all around the USS Russell with an altitude variation of 1,000 to 700 feet and an apparent direction of motion. In less than an hour, the USS Russell made 9 distinct contacts with drones. The USS Kidd then became aware of multiple unidentified aerial vehicles circling the ship at 9:20 that evening. Up to 4 drones also bombarded the USS Rafael Peralta. The Carnival Imagination, a passing cruise ship, phoned it to report that they had also seen up to 6 drones. There was a flurry of activity for 3 hours, lasting almost till midnight, and none of the warships could pinpoint the precise location of the drones. Notified were the commander of the Pacific Fleet and the chief of naval operations, 2 of the Navy's highest-ranking officers. The FBI's Los Angeles Bureau was also called in to investigate the event. According to the investigation that followed, only a few private ships that might have served as drone landing pads were present in the vicinity at the time. The FBI just declassified a document saying the United States Navy has patents on otherworldly tech. There has been a noticeable increase in claims in the last few years that connect the Navy to unidentified flying objects. The Department of Defense began the process of establishing a comprehensive program for studying unidentified flying objects in the year February. This program was created especially to gather important data about these mysterious aerial phenomena, investigating their technological capabilities and places of origin. The project, dubbed the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, brought together a committed group of military intelligence personnel, experts, and high-level security clearance holders and received a large amount of funding. Finding out if these unexplained flying objects presented any risks to national security was its main goal. Without delay, this committed group gathered a wide range of strange sighting accounts from pilots across the nation. Supporting documentation, including radar data and camera footage, was included with these reports. Their dedicated efforts were directed towards attempting to determine the nature and identities of these unexplainable objects by correlating these encounters with known international aircraft signatures. This program's research was done in an astonishingly deep manner. Taking a broad approach, the group carefully examined every sighting and the information that went along with it in an effort to get a deep understanding of these mysterious occurrences. Their investigation included a broad spectrum of topics, including possible ramifications for national security. The Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program's thorough compilation and analysis of UFO encounters is a testament to their dedication to advancing our understanding of these occurrences. They wanted to increase our understanding of the enigmatic and frequently bewildering sightings recorded by reliable witnesses, so they increased the scope of their investigations and looked into numerous dimensions. It was soon evident after carefully examining and gathering the data that we would not be able to find satisfactory answers for these enigmatic ships and their origins. Remarkably, a significant portion of the program's eminent researchers were persuaded that these unexplained aerial objects and the corresponding craft were not Earth-born. These mysterious items also displayed skills and behavior that defied understanding. This astounding disclosure might be the Department of Defense's closest, if not outright admission, of the possibility that extraterrestrial vessels exist. The department's exceptional response highlights the seriousness of these encounters and the enormous mystery that surrounds them. It's interesting to note that the U.S. Navy recently made an unexpected claim about possession of patents for odd and non-traditional technology. The United States Navy is currently working on developing a small-scale fusion reactor that might power whole cities, thanks to these patents. But one particular invention in particular has sparked a lot of interest. The Navy has disclosed designs for a hybrid aerospace underwater craft and an inertial mass reduction. The idea of inertial mass reduction suggests a revolutionary development in propulsion technology with the goal of lessening an object's inertial mass to increase its speed and maneuverability. These innovative patents have drawn attention and intrigue from many, earning them the nickname UFO patents. The War Zone, a trustworthy source renowned for its perceptive reporting, released the first report on these patents. They even succeeded in identifying the great scientist who was responsible for these inventions, Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pius, who has given his knowledge to the Navy and the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division. Dr. Pius goes into further detail about the subject matter and explains the basic idea behind these patents, which is the controlled movement of electrically charged particles via the application of rapid acceleration transients or accelerated vibrations to rotational motion. Consequently, extraordinarily strong electromagnetic fields with enormous energy and intensity are produced. These patents are incredibly thorough, providing a thorough and in-depth investigation of electromagnetics and its possible applications. The prospect of creating a revolutionary propulsion system that may propel a vessel underwater at exceptional velocity is one feature of the patents that has attracted the interest of UFO researchers. Some people doubt the viability of these concepts, saying that our current technological capacity cannot make them a reality. Others assert that the Navy already has this cutting-edge technology, which they call USOs or unidentified submerged objects. Unidentified flying objects are well known to the public, but not everyone may be aware that there are unidentified submerged objects as well. These are unseen aerial vehicles that have been observed in and around seas. Some people even claim to have seen these craft sink below the surface of the water without disturbing the surface. Interestingly, military troops have also reported seeing enormous UFOs silently descend into the ocean and stay submerged for several hours, proving that amateur observers are not the only ones who have reported seeing these encounters. A growing number of these sightings have prompted conjecture over the potential presence of submerged bases that these vessels may use, implying a more extensive and intricate phenomenon at play. USOs are said to resemble ordinary UFOs a great deal, raising concerns about any possible differences between the two types of UFOs or the possibility that conventional UFOs could operate underwater. Another source claims that the aforementioned technology already exists and is being progressively made available to the broader public. The rationale for this strategy is that the creators are conscious of the rising skepticism and the heightened interest in finding the truth. As such, they have chosen to give up on confidentiality. According to this point of view, the technology in question is gradually becoming more widely understood and is no longer a closely guarded secret. This video was just shared on social media, and people can't explain what it is. One individual in London has come forward with a fascinating story of how they were able to video a mysterious object close to the moon. The eyewitness provided the following statement. "I saw this object moving across the moon last night. I can tell you it was exactly 6 minutes past 11 when it happened. Apart from being surprised at the moon's beauty, I couldn't believe there was a long object moving very slowly from left to right. Has anyone seen anything like this before? And can someone help me find an explanation? Please?" I posted on the London subreddit, but I'm not sure we found any explanations. I don't think it's a stationary object, as the moon is moving from left to right. Therefore, if the object is stationary, then it would go from right to left in this video, which it doesn't. It's a good idea, but I think it's definitely a very slow-moving object." End quote. The woman, who at the time was gazing towards the brightly lit moon, witnessed a large black object fly across it. And once she reviewed the footage, she decided to post it to the UFO subreddit. And interestingly enough, others came forward and said they saw the same thing in different areas of the country. Another eyewitness who we talked to said that it was a clear night in London, and that the moon looked particularly large and orange, which is why they were looking at it. This eyewitness described the object as a huge black object that silently and swiftly traversed the moon. Its silhouette stood in stark contrast against the bright moon, making its presence unmistakable. The eyewitness said that she wasn't able to capture a clear image of the mysterious object, but added that she could easily detail her experience, saying that she had never seen anything like it before. They added that they've reached out to UFO research organizations. As of right now, news of the sighting has started to quickly spread, capturing the attention of UFO researchers. Many amateur researchers who have studied UFO sightings have said that mysterious crafts above London are not a recent phenomenon. Reports of strange objects in the sky have been recorded for decades, often dismissed as misidentifications or the result of vivid imaginations. However, a closer examination of some of these accounts reveals a pattern of credible sightings that cannot be easily explained away. One of the earliest documented sightings occurred during World War II when both Allied and Axis pilots reported seeing Foo Fighters, mysterious glowing objects that followed their aircraft. While these sightings were not limited to London, they marked the beginning of serious military and scientific interest in unexplained aerial phenomena. In the post-war era, the most famous London UFO sighting took place in 1952, when multiple witnesses, including police officers, observed a large disc-shaped object hovering over the city. This incident, widely reported in the media, prompted investigations by both local authorities and independent researchers. Despite extensive inquiries, no conventional explanation could be found. Interestingly, reports of UFOs near the moon date back to the early days of telescopic observations. Astronomers in the 19th century, such as William Herschel and Johann Schroeder, documented unusual lights and objects moving across the lunar surface. While these early reports were often dismissed or attributed to observational errors, they set the stage for more detailed and credible sightings in the modern era. One of the most compelling incidents occurred during the Apollo missions. Astronauts on several missions reported seeing unidentified objects near the moon. More recently, amateur astronomers equipped with high-powered telescopes and cameras have captured footage of unexplained objects near the lunar surface. And these sightings often feature objects moving at high speeds, changing direction abruptly, and exhibiting flight characteristics beyond known human technology. The clarity and consistency of these observations have sparked renewed interest and serious consideration within the scientific community. If we accept the premise that UFOs observed near the moon are real and genuine, several potential explanations arise, each with profound implications for our understanding of the universe. The most exciting explanation is that these unidentified objects are spacecraft powered by advanced beings or drones that have been sent out by them, and this theory is becoming more popular as clearer photographs are being uploaded online. Many who have seen them have stated that their rounded shape looks like advanced drones and could have been sent out by a larger ship. Believers in this theory have said that this is why so many of them appear to be on a mission. They have been given the name of fast walkers, and they are often detected at high altitudes and speeds that far surpass conventional aircraft. Fast walkers are distinguished by their incredible speed and altitude. Unlike traditional UFO sightings that often involve visual observations from the ground, fast walkers are typically detected by radar systems, particularly those used in space surveillance networks, and these objects can travel at speeds exceeding several thousand miles per hour, far beyond the capabilities of current human-made aircraft or known atmospheric phenomena. Another defining feature of fast walkers is their ability to change direction rapidly, often performing maneuvers that defy the laws of physics as understood by contemporary science. They are usually detected for brief periods before disappearing from radar screens, adding to their elusive nature. Many who have looked into mysterious aircrafts near our moon have said that the moon's proximity to Earth and its strategic position as a vantage point for observing our planet make it an ideal location for extraterrestrial activity. Another plausible explanation is that these UFOs represent advanced human technology developed in secret. Governments and private organizations may possess spacecraft capable of operating in lunar orbit, conducting surveillance, or preparing for future missions. However, this theory raises questions about the extent of such technology and the reasons for its secrecy, given the significant advancements required to achieve the observed capabilities. These descriptions beg fascinating concerns regarding the possible technological advances these UFOs have made that exceed our own capabilities on Earth. Furthermore, the bewildering lack of any apparent means of propulsion is a formidable obstacle to our present understanding of the operational mechanism utilized by these unexplained flying objects. Conventional spacecraft primarily depend on propulsion mechanisms like thrusters or rockets, which inevitably produce visible emissions such as exhaust. Conversely, the UFOs that have been seen near the moon function exceptionally quietly and produce no audible emissions, suggesting that it is feasible to use cutting-edge propulsion systems based on scientific theories that are not yet accepted by the mainstream scientific community. Researchers and scientists are fascinated by the sightings of unexplained flying objects near the moon and are working hard to solve this confusing riddle. And while the scientific community has remained silent about these allegations, there is growing recognition that strange things are happening in lunar space and that further investigation is necessary. Scholars in a variety of disciplines are exhibiting an increased level of interest in the existence of unknown aerial objects surrounding the moon. A fascinating theory has emerged in recent years from a group of scientists speculating that the reported unidentified flying objects may be autonomous spacecraft or even unmanned probes with possible extraterrestrial origins. Even though this theory is still mostly conjectural and unproven, it would be foolish to exclude it out of hand given the consistency of the reports and the degree of sophisticated technology that witnesses have detailed. Moreover, investigating these enigmatic objects may yield priceless insights into our understanding of propulsion systems and the broad field of space exploration. Significant scientific breakthroughs have frequently occurred throughout history when investigating puzzling occurrences that defy simple explanation. Consequently, carefully investigating the possibility of UFOs near the moon may be the key to discovering a wealth of fresh information on space exploration and advanced technology. The idea that these events might be aliens in origin is one of the most fascinating and thought-provoking theories regarding unexplained flying objects close to the moon. Even though this theory is entirely theoretical and devoid of hard data, it forces us to consider the significant ramifications and wonder if sentient organisms exist elsewhere in the universe. As things are right now, the presence of unexplained flying objects near the moon is an incredibly fascinating and important phenomenon that needs careful consideration and research. Even while some people might be skeptical and write off these sightings as anomalies or incidents of misidentification, it's crucial to recognize the reliability and consistency of the many eyewitness accounts. The extremely sophisticated technology these things displayed, along with their mysterious character, emphasized the necessity of further investigating this occurrence. Such accounts are so common that a thorough examination that goes beyond superficial justifications is necessary. To properly understand the ramifications and possible relevance of this topic, it is imperative to approach it objectively. In recent years, the discourse surrounding unidentified flying objects has gained unprecedented momentum, with government officials across the globe increasingly acknowledging and discussing these phenomena. This shift from secrecy and skepticism to openness and serious inquiry marks a significant change in the official stance on UFOs. For much of the 20th century, governments, particularly the United States government, maintained a policy of secrecy regarding UFOs. This stance was largely driven by Cold War anxieties, technological uncertainties, and the fear of public panic. However, behind the scenes, various government agencies were actively investigating UFO sightings. Projects over the years have collected and analyzed thousands of reports, though publicly they often downplayed or dismissed the significance of these findings. This dual approach, public dismissal coupled with private investigation, fueled conspiracy theories and public mistrust. The 21st century has seen a dramatic shift in how governments handle UFO reports. Several key developments have contributed to this change. One of the most significant changes has been the declassification of numerous UFO-related documents. In 2017, various news outlets revealed the existence of a secret Pentagon project that investigated UFO sightings from February 2007 to 12, and many researchers questioned that if unidentified objects weren't real and posed no threats, why were they still being investigated after 60 years? It's for this reason that many have said that there's more to this subject than what we are being told about. This revelation included videos of encounters between U.S. Navy pilots and unidentified aerial phenomena, providing compelling evidence of objects exhibiting flight characteristics beyond known human technology. The increasing number of credible witnesses, particularly military personnel, has also played a crucial role. Pilots, radar operators, and other trained observers have come forward with detailed accounts of their encounters with unidentified objects. These individuals possess a high degree of credibility due to their training and expertise in identifying conventional aircraft and atmospheric phenomena, and their testimonies have added significant weight to the argument that UFOs are worthy of serious investigation. Government officials have started to publicly acknowledge the reality of mysterious objects. In June 2020, the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee, led by Senator Marco Rubio, requested a comprehensive report on UAPs from the Director of National Intelligence. The resulting report, released in June 2021, highlighted 144 UFO encounters reported by military personnel since February 2004, with most remaining unexplained. Moreover, in 2021, the Pentagon established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force to standardize the collection and analysis of UAP reports. This move represents a formal acknowledgement that these phenomena pose potential national security concerns that require systematic study. Several factors have contributed to the increased openness among government officials regarding UFOs. Advancements in technology, particularly in imaging and radar, have made it easier to detect and document UAPs. High-resolution cameras, advanced radar systems, and other surveillance technologies have captured clear and compelling evidence of UAPs, making it harder for authorities to dismiss these incidents as mere anomalies or misidentifications. The potential national security implications of UAPs have driven much of the recent governmental interest. Unidentified objects exhibiting advanced flight capabilities in restricted airspace pose a clear threat, regardless of their origin. Governments are increasingly recognizing the need to understand these phenomena to protect national security interests and ensure airspace safety. Public interest in UFOs has never waned, and the demand for transparency has grown with the advent of the internet and social media. The ease of sharing information and the proliferation of citizen journalists and researchers have pressured governments to be more transparent about their UFO investigations. Acknowledging the existence of UAPs and actively investigating them helps build public trust and addresses the growing clamor for openness. The increased discourse on UFOs among government officials has several significant implications. Acknowledging the reality of UAPs encourages scientific inquiry into these phenomena. Scientists from various disciplines, including physics, aerospace engineering, and astronomy, are now more likely to investigate UAPs seriously. This can lead to technological innovations and a deeper understanding of aerial phenomena. UAPs are a global phenomenon, and increased governmental transparency can foster international collaboration. Sharing data and research across borders can enhance the collective understanding of these objects and potentially uncover their origins, whether they are extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or advanced human-made craft. The official recognition of UAPs has profound cultural and philosophical implications. It challenges long-held beliefs about humanity's place in the universe and opens up new possibilities for understanding our existence. The potential discovery of extraterrestrial life or advanced unknown technologies would fundamentally alter our worldview. In the history of space exploration, few moments capture the imagination and spark as much intrigue as the revelation of unexpected and unexplained phenomena. One such moment occurred when an astronaut shared a mysterious photograph that appeared to show a massive ship inside a crater on the moon. This photograph, which quickly became the subject of intense speculation and debate, raises profound questions about the nature of our lunar neighbor and the potential for extraterrestrial activity. The photograph in question was taken during one of the numerous missions to the moon, though the exact mission remains a closely guarded secret, adding to the mystery. The image shows a large shadowy object nestled within the confines of a lunar crater, its angular lines and distinct features standing in stark contrast to the natural surroundings. The object, which some have described as resembling a spacecraft, appears to be partially buried in lunar dust and debris, suggesting that it has been there for a considerable period. On the other hand, because of the large quantity of images that have been taken from spacecraft, a number of amateur researchers have spent endless hours searching through these photographs in the hope of discovering something peculiar, and these researchers have said that this isn't the first time that strange objects have been found. This image was taken by the Apollo 15 spacecraft, and those who have made measurements have said that the object in question measures over 6 miles long. Other amateur researchers have come forward in recent years and claim to have discovered objects that appear to be similar to those found in old photographs. They assert that this demonstrates that there is more going on than what we are being told about, and in some instances, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is even editing out these images in the hope that we will not see them. Researchers who are just starting out claim that they do this because they believe that if the bulk of the populace were to learn about these things, they would immediately become extremely anxious. Over the past few years, NASA has come forward to assert that these assertions cannot be substantiated, and that they have never attempted to conceal irregularities in their images through the use of image editing software or airbrushing. According to amateur researchers, if you spend enough time looking for them, you will eventually find them on your own. Despite the fact that scientists have stated that it is their responsibility to unearth discoveries of this nature and to assist in advancing our knowledge, they have never discovered anything that is of interest or that cannot be explained in all of the years that they have spent performing their research. There are also substantial implications for future space exploration and the quest for life beyond Earth that are associated with the potential of an extraterrestrial presence on the moon. If this were to occur, it would cause a reevaluation of the current goals and tactics for lunar exploration, which may potentially lead to increased attempts to investigate and map the surface of the moon by providing more specific information. Furthermore, it would stimulate interest in conducting similar research on other celestial planets, such as Mars and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, for the purpose of discovering evidence of extraterrestrial activity that may have occurred in the past or may be occurring at the present time. Even while the snapshot has caused a lot of excitement and speculation, there are still a lot of questions that have not been answered. The precise nature of the object that was found in the crater, as well as its origin, continue to be shrouded in mystery, and there is no conclusive evidence to either confirm or disprove the numerous ideas. Further suspicion and conspiracy theories have been fostered by the fact that the mission and the identity of the astronaut have been kept secret. Some people have suggested that the photograph is a part of a broader cover-up of extraterrestrial activity. As of right now, the strange photograph that was provided by an astronaut and showed a massive ship inside of a crater on the moon has captivated the imagination and caused significant debate. However, proponents of the alien theory point to the object's distinct features and symmetrical shape as proof of an artificial origin. Skeptics believe that the image is just our eyes playing tricks on us, while proponents of the hypothesis point to the object's symmetrical shape. This snapshot raises significant issues regarding the potential for extraterrestrial activity on the Moon, as well as the future of space exploration. These questions are raised regardless of the true nature of the item described in the photograph. The mysteries of the lunar surface serve as a reminder that we are still at the beginning of our journey to understand the universe and our place within it. This is something that we are reminded of as we continue to explore the infinite universe. Mysterious objects seen during NASA's 1960 Mercury mission. In the early 1960s, the dawn of the space age heralded unprecedented advancements in human exploration beyond our planet. As the United States and the Soviet Union vied for dominance in space, NASA's Mercury missions became the first American forays into this new frontier. Among these groundbreaking missions, the 1960 Mercury mission stood out not just for its technical achievements, but also for the extraordinary and controversial reports of unidentified flying objects seen during the mission. These sightings have fueled decades of speculation, debate, and fascination, suggesting that humanity may not be alone in the cosmos. An image from NASA's Mercury mission, dating back over 60 years, has reignited speculation about UFO sightings and suspicions of extraterrestrial planes. An amateur researcher alleges to have discovered something peculiar in the picture, which was published on NASA's official website. The photographs were captured by the unmanned NASA spacecraft during the Project Mercury mission, which began in 1958 and concluded in 1963. According to the person who discovered the image, the unidentified object in the background is purportedly an extraterrestrial spacecraft that was hovering in orbit to observe the Mercury capsule. The researcher, who claimed to have dedicated much time examining NASA albums, announced the discovery of a disk in certain photographs from the Mercury mission. Initial reports of anomalous sightings were relayed by terrestrial radar operators who saw unidentified objects exhibiting extraordinary velocities in close proximity to the flight path of the Mercury spacecraft. These objects had flying patterns and velocities that were beyond the capability of any known aircraft created by humans at that time. Following the initial excitement and bewilderment, these radar blips were promptly confirmed by visual sightings from both mission control officers and astronomers who had been monitoring the spacecraft's trajectory. Inside the spaceship, the telemetry data captured a sequence of abnormal signals. External monitoring instruments detected inexplicable variations in radiation levels and electromagnetic interference. In addition, the cameras on board recorded brief photos of unidentifiable objects distinguished by their unique forms and swift motions. Despite their hazy and blurred quality, these photographs depicted unidentified saucer-like structures and cylindrical forms that did not correspond to any recognized space junk or man-made satellites. A particularly convincing piece of evidence was obtained during the post-mission debriefing of the mission's controllers and scientists. Multiple essential individuals witnessed luminous objects that seemed to follow closely behind the Mercury spacecraft during its mission. The objects, characterized by their emission of a pulsating light, appeared to navigate with discernment and intention, consistently maintaining a fixed distance from the capsule. The observations were sufficiently clear and reliable to justify an internal examination conducted by NASA. NASA's official explanation at the time indicated that the sightings were probably attributable to optical illusions, reflections, or space debris. Nevertheless, this explanation failed to alleviate the increasing conjecture and fascination around the tragedy. Doubters contended that the abundance and uniformity of the observations, along with the supporting radar and telemetry information, indicated something much more remarkable than mere misidentifications. The object outside the International Space Station. Back in 2017, a huge object was caught outside of the International Space Station. This extraordinary incident, witnessed by thousands of people around the world via the space station's live stream, offers a compelling case for the existence of extraterrestrial technology. On a seemingly ordinary day, as the space station orbited Earth, the station's live feed, which regularly broadcasts stunning views of our planet, unexpectedly captured something unprecedented. Viewers noticed a colossal, disc-shaped object hovering near the space station. Unlike the usual space debris or meteors that occasionally appear, this object was distinct with a structured and symmetrical form suggesting an artificial origin. The sighting lasted for several minutes before the object slowly moved out of the camera's field of view, disappearing into the vastness of space. The immediate reaction from the global audience was a mixture of awe, excitement, and skepticism. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions as amateur astronomers and UFO enthusiasts meticulously analyzed the footage. Many pointed out the object's size, estimated to be several hundred meters in diameter, and its smooth metallic surface, which reflected the sunlight in a way that natural celestial bodies do not. The sheer scale and appearance of the object led many to conclude that it was not a piece of human-made space junk, but something far more extraordinary. While some attempted to provide conventional explanations, such as an unusual reflection of light or a misidentified satellite, these theories fell short of addressing the object's distinct characteristics. The structured symmetry and deliberate movement of the UFO suggested an advanced level of engineering far beyond current human capabilities. Moreover, the context of the sighting added to its credibility. The International Space Station is equipped with some of the most advanced surveillance and observational technology available, designed to capture high-resolution images and videos of space. The live feed is monitored by a team of experts who are trained to recognize and identify various objects and phenomena in space. The fact that this object appeared so clearly and was captured in such detail by the space station cameras indicates that it was not a simple optical illusion or camera malfunction. This sighting also brings to mind the numerous historical accounts of UFOs reported by astronauts and cosmonauts. From the early days of space exploration, there have been numerous reports of strange objects observed during missions. For example, NASA astronauts such as Gordon Cooper and Edgar Mitchell have publicly spoken about their experiences with UFOs, lending further credibility to the possibility of extraterrestrial encounters. The recent sighting can be seen as part of this continuum of unexplained phenomena in space. The implications of this sighting are profound and far-reaching. If the object captured by the space station's live camera is indeed an extraterrestrial spacecraft, it would suggest that advanced civilizations exist beyond Earth and possess the technology to traverse the vast distances of space. This realization would fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It would prompt a reevaluation of our scientific theories and technological aspirations as we strive to comprehend and possibly replicate such advanced engineering. Furthermore, the sighting raises important questions about the intentions and motivations of these potential extraterrestrial visitors. Are they merely observing us, or do they have a more active interest in humanity and our development? The presence of such a large and advanced spacecraft near the space stations suggests a level of curiosity and perhaps even concern for our activities in space. It underscores the need for greater transparency and cooperation among global space agencies in sharing information and resources to understand these phenomena. In response to the sighting, there have been calls for a thorough investigation by an international coalition of space agencies, scientists, and researchers. This collaborative approach would help ensure that the analysis is comprehensive and unbiased, leveraging the expertise and technology of multiple countries to uncover the truth behind the sighting. Additionally, it would foster a spirit of global unity and shared purpose in addressing one of the most significant questions of our time. Are we alone in the universe? The mysterious UFO searchlight encounter. The recurring observations of a circular disc-shaped entity in the vicinity of Norwood, situated near Cincinnati in Ohio, have often been overshadowed by more popularized incidents of that period. Nonetheless, this particular occurrence stands out as notably captivating among the less remembered instances. The mysterious presence of the circular object has perplexed locals and experts alike, hinting at a deeper mystery that has puzzled investigators for years. This peculiar entity was observed multiple times over an extended period spanning several months. Moreover, these sightings frequently triggered a surge of incoming calls to the editorial departments of renowned newspapers like the Cincinnati Post and the Cincinnati Enquirer, with eager and anxious locals reaching out to report their encounters. The phenomenon captured the attention of the community and sparked widespread discussions, fueling both fascination and apprehension among the residents. The mysterious nature of the object led to heightened curiosity and a flurry of speculative theories circulating within the populace. During the sightings, an intriguing detail surfaced as one witness vividly remembered observing triangular-shaped objects emerging from the vast circular crafts. This observation is particularly noteworthy as triangular objects were not as commonly reported back then compared to their prevalence in contemporary accounts. The emergence of these distinct triangular shapes added a new dimension to the already mysterious phenomenon, sparking curiosity among researchers and enthusiasts alike. Numerous sightings of these phenomena were documented through photographs and, in some cases, video recordings capturing the attention of a multitude of onlookers. This diverse group of witnesses hailed from various segments of society, including everyday individuals, law enforcement personnel, military personnel, religious figures such as clergy and congregation members, and numerous representatives from the media outlets. The sightings garnered immense public interest and sparked curiosity across different societal spheres. This broad spectrum of observers highlights the widespread nature of these peculiar occurrences and underlines the significant impact they had on society as a whole. On the evening of the August 19, 1949 in Norwood, located near Cincinnati, Ohio, a series of events unfolded. Reverend Gregory Miller, serving as the pastor of St. Peter and Paul Church, was deeply engrossed in supervising the Jitney Carnival being held on the church premises. Interestingly, he had made preparations for the acquisition of a searchlight with military attributes for the event. During the carnival festivities, just past 8 in the evening, Sergeant Donald Berger from the University of Cincinnati was in charge of the searchlight scanning the sky. Abruptly, the beam illuminated a distinct circular object suspended above. As Berger maintained the focus of the searchlight on the object, numerous carnival attendees also observed the peculiar spacecraft hovering in the air. The incident stirred curiosity and intrigue among the crowd as they gazed at the unidentified object under the vigilant eye of Sergeant Berger and pondered the possible origins and nature of the strange craft. Local media outlets covered the occurrence extensively in their publications the subsequent day. According to the Cincinnati Post, there were peculiar sightings described as balls of fire hovering above Cincinnati throughout the night. An official from the Weather Bureau, who personally witnessed the event, noted that these unidentified objects bore resemblance to weather balloons, with the notable difference being their complete stillness despite the considerable wind conditions that prevailed that evening. Furthermore, these mysterious objects exhibited a unique behavior of intermittently brightening and dimming over multiple cycles, adding to the intrigue of the situation. The detailed reports in the newspapers painted a vivid picture of the unusual phenomenon that captured the attention and curiosity of the local population. The initial observation marked the commencement of a series of sightings that continued to transpire throughout the subsequent weeks. Just prior, at approximately 7 in the evening, an unusual event unfolded at the St. Gertrude Church in Madeira. A peculiar entity was observed traversing the skies at an elevation ranging between 15,000 to 20,000 feet. Within moments, the mysterious object abruptly ascended vertically, vanishing into the heavens as though it had been swiftly pulled by an imperceptible force. Subsequently, it reappeared at a significantly greater altitude before disappearing once more shortly thereafter. The perplexing nature of the sighting left witnesses intrigued and bewildered, pondering the mysterious occurrence that transpired that evening. This occurrence, witnessed by onlookers, raised questions and sparked curiosity about the unexplained phenomena that occasionally captivate our attention. 6 nights later, at approximately 7 in the evening, another similar incident occurred in Milford, Ohio, where an object closely resembling the previous sighting was observed during a searchlight test. As the beam of light traversed the sky, it illuminated a white circular object that seemed to be stationary above. Intriguingly, when the searchlight was turned off momentarily, the mysterious object vanished from sight, suggesting it was only visible under specific conditions. Subsequently, the object swiftly departed the scene, leaving observers pondering over its strange nature and abrupt disappearance. This occurrence added another perplexing layer to the series of events, deepening the mystery surrounding the unidentified flying object sightings in the area. On the eventful evening of October 23rd, an exceptionally detailed and captivating sighting unfolded once again at the St. Peter and Paul Church in Norwood. Reverend Miller found himself in the company of a diverse group of individuals. Among them, the esteemed managing editor of the Cincinnati Post, Robert Lynn, accompanied by the presence of a dedicated Post reporter, Leo Hurt, and accomplished businessman, William Winkler. The scene was imbued with a sense of curiosity and intrigue as these notable figures bore witness to an event that would etch itself into their memories. The unidentified object made its initial appearance at approximately 7 in the evening and remained consistently visible thereafter. Miller reported the sighting to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where an intelligence officer meticulously recorded all relevant details and information about the incident. The sighting of this object prompted swift action and thorough documentation by the military personnel involved. At approximately 10 in the evening, the observation of unidentified flying objects became increasingly intriguing. Onlookers were astonished as multiple triangular-shaped entities emerged from a larger disc-shaped craft. These entities seemed to depart the main object by traversing a peculiar beam before veering off its course. One observer vividly likened these peculiar objects to the pointed tip of an arrowhead. The event unfolded with an air of mystique and bewilderment, capturing the attention and curiosity of those present. During an extensive period lasting approximately 30 minutes, they persistently circled the sky before eventually, it is assumed, rejoining the primary entity. More than 50 individuals were present during the occurrences that night. Despite the abundance of witnesses and the profoundly peculiar circumstances surrounding the incident, not everyone was easily persuaded that something out of the ordinary had occurred. The skepticism persisted even in the face of overwhelming evidence. In an article featured in the Cincinnati Post, Dr. Wells, an esteemed physics professor at the University of Cincinnati, boldly refuted the extraordinary claims by attributing the sighting to a mere optical illusion. This revelation shed a new light on the mysterious event, introducing a scientific rationale that challenged the prevailing belief in the supernatural. Leo Hurdle, a columnist for the Cincinnati Post, made astonishing assertions claiming that the seemingly small objects observed by people were simply geese. In response, Miller vehemently argued that geese seldom possess taillights. This conversation between Hurdle and Miller sparked a debate regarding the nature of these mysterious objects. Intriguingly, while a significant number of individuals present during the unfolding of the sighting remained skeptical, there were subsequent sightings that added to the mystery. Notably, on the evening following the initial event, another sighting occurred at the same spot. Among the witnesses, Ed Teep, the mayor of Norwood, provided a detailed account, emphasizing that the object in question appeared substantial and even mentioned the presence of ridges on its surface. This series of events not only raised doubts among some observers, but also sparked curiosity and speculation within the community. Teep's clear description of the object being perceived as a tangible entity with distinct features added layers of complexity to the unfolding narrative, prompting further discussion and analysis. On the evening of the November 19th in Norwood, Miller found himself once again gazing up at the vast expanse of the sky, diligently scanning with the searchlight. It was a little past 7 in the evening when his eyes locked onto the familiar circular object hovering above. Intriguingly, after a brief period, the object abruptly vanished as though someone had flicked a switch, leaving Miller and the other witnesses bewildered. To their surprise, within a minute or so, the mysterious object reappeared, this time positioned significantly higher in the sky, defying logic. Astonishingly, it lingered in its new location for several hours, a spectacle that captivated all those present, including the notable William Winkler, solidifying the mysterious nature of the sighting. On the evening of December 20th, approximately a month later, another observation took place in Norwood. It was slightly past 8 when Miller activated the searchlight and promptly aimed it at the stationary aircraft in the sky. Initially, the object seemed quite distant, but as the night progressed, it gradually grew larger in the sky before vanishing a little past 10. This event sparked intrigue and speculation as witnesses pondered the nature of the mysterious craft and its sudden appearance. As the searchlight illuminated the surrounding area, revealing intricate details of the hovering object, onlookers couldn't help but marvel at the surreal sight unfolding before them. The sighting of the unidentified flying object left a lasting impression on those present, prompting discussions and theories about the possible origins or purposes of the mysterious aerial phenomenon. In the initial weeks of 1950, another sighting was reported in Norwood on the night of January 11th. Once again, Miller activated the searchlight at 7:30 and commenced scanning the skies. However, It took him about 15 minutes to spot the familiar object hovering above. It remained clearly visible for an additional 15 minutes before slightly dimming, though still observable. Adding to the intrigue throughout the evening, multiple observers witnessed what they described as smaller objects moving across the sky, especially as they intersected with the searchlight's beam. This series of events raised curiosity and speculation about the nature and origin of these aerial phenomena. The reports from that night triggered discussions and further investigations into the mysterious sightings that captured the attention of both local residents and experts in the field. The sequence of events on that particular evening sparked a flurry of theories and conjectures, leading to a deeper exploration of the phenomenon and its possible implications. Following a period of calm, there was a resurgence of UFO sightings after several weeks, when a new incident was documented in Norwood at approximately 8 in the evening on March 9th. The observer, Miller, quickly identified an unidentified object as he scanned the skies with a searchlight. This object remained stationary for about 45 minutes before two smaller objects emerged directly from it. As these smaller crafts detached, the main disc-shaped craft seemed to move away momentarily, but later returned to its original position, lingering in the sky until around 10 in the evening. Interestingly, none of the witnesses mentioned seeing the two smaller objects reappear, adding a mysterious element to the sighting. This event not only intrigued the witnesses, but also left them baffled by the strange, unexplained phenomenon that played out before their eyes, deepening the mystery surrounding the unidentified aerial craft encounter in Norwood. Upon the subsequent evening, Miller managed to capture sight of the unidentified object yet again, this time occurring at approximately 7 in the evening. Strangely, it maintained a stationary position, suspended in the air without any movement, for approximately 45 minutes before gradually drifting away from the illuminated area and eventually vanishing. Surprisingly, the object reemerged after 30 minutes had elapsed, appearing in precisely the same location where it was first observed. Curiously, it stayed in that same spot until around 11 in the evening without exhibiting any discernible changes or actions throughout this period. In the vicinity of Norwood, the latest documented observation marked the conclusion of a series of reports. The nature of the entity under scrutiny continues to baffle observers, maintaining its status as a mystery. The fascination with UFOs and aliens is deeply ingrained in human nature, driven by a myriad of factors that tap into our curiosity, imagination, and sense of wonder about the unknown. One of the primary reasons for our interest in UFOs and aliens is the inherent human desire to explore and discover the unknown. Since the dawn of civilization, humans have looked to the skies with awe and wonder, pondering the mysteries of the stars and the possibility of other worlds beyond our own. The idea of encountering intelligent beings from distant planets taps into this primal urge for exploration, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the vastness of the universe and our place within it. The mystery of Mr. Lash. In the summer of 2015, an intriguing incident made headlines online when authorities discovered an individual inside a car in Los Angeles saying that he had passed away several days prior. Subsequent investigations conducted by law enforcement officers at the man's residence uncovered a startling revelation: a staggering collection of more than 1,000 firearms. Alongside this arsenal, a substantial sum of almost $250,000 was also seized, along with a massive stockpile of ammunition. Adding to the mystery, the individual was in possession of 15 vehicles, including a bulletproof and technologically advanced car among them. These astounding findings only scratched the surface of the strange circumstances surrounding this case. This intricate tale presents a puzzling narrative that beckons further exploration and analysis. Jeffrey Allen Lash, known for his mysterious existence, appeared to live a clandestine life that intrigued many. His fiancée, Catherine Nebrin, made startling revelations, asserting that Lash was not merely a regular individual, but an extraordinary being, a hybrid of alien and human origin purportedly employed by undisclosed government entities. Nebrin, disseminating a statement through legal representation, expressed her conviction regarding his association with these strange organizations. The mysterious circumstances surrounding Lash's demise further heightened the intrigue. He allegedly instructed Nebrin to not only abandon his lifeless body in a vehicle, but also revealed plans for a government agent to retrieve him posthumously. Nebrin, following Lash's directives, was advised to promptly vacate the town following his passing, hinting at a deeper, more complex narrative shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. In the midst of the intricate web of events surrounding Nebrin's business operations, Dawn Vad Bunker, an employee, became ensnared in the unfolding saga. After recently ending her brief marriage, she aligned herself with Lash and Nebrin in a peculiar turn of events. Her role involved procuring garages for Lash's extensive collection of vehicles, citing the necessity for quick access by other operatives. Following Lash's demise in California, both women traveled to Oregon. Nebrin, upon returning after 2 weeks, discovered Lash's body where she had last seen it and then alerted the authorities. Notably, Vad Bunker emerged in Oregon at a later point, yet current information indicates her reluctance to reunite with her family or return home. This intricate sequence of events underscores the complex dynamics at play within the Nebrin-Lash saga, further highlighting the enigmatic nature of their collaboration and Vad Bunker's mysterious role in the unfolding narrative. Some individuals promptly noted that Lash was simply perceived as a fraudster who had successfully persuaded numerous women that he was a covert extraterrestrial hybrid operative. Additionally, his physical condition exhibited indications of advanced cancer, even though the official reason for his passing remains undisclosed. Upon closer examination, it is evident that Lash managed to cultivate a facade that intrigued and deceived many, leading to a complex web of deceit that intertwined his alleged extraterrestrial identity with the stark reality of his deteriorating health. Various intriguing queries revolve around Lash. Despite the absence of any criminal background, the origins of his significant wealth remain a mystery to all. Additionally, there is an air of suspicion as to why, even after several weeks of his body being undiscovered, the authorities did not consider the possibility of any foul play. Delving deeper into the intricacies of his financial affluence unveils a complex web of uncertainty and ambiguity. Could there potentially exist a deeper and more elaborate narrative surrounding Lash that goes beyond what the majority of us might be willing to acknowledge him for? This is not the initial instance where individuals have put forward sensational, albeit detailed assertions about clandestine hybridization initiatives relating to the U.S. Armed Forces. It raises intriguing questions about the untold facets of Lash's story that may have been overlooked or underestimated by many. The mystery of Charles Hickson. Charles Hickson embraced the fame that surrounded him following his disclosure about an encounter with an unidentified flying object and its occupants 4 decades ago along the shores of the Pascagoula River. Despite the attention, even up to his passing in 2011, Hickson remained steadfast in recounting his experience to all willing to lend an ear. His unwavering commitment to sharing his account showcased his resolute belief in the authenticity of the event that forever altered his life. Calvin Parker Jr., who was alongside another individual during one of the most notable UFO incidents in American history, continues to grapple with the extraordinary encounter he claims involved strange gray beings with crab-like claws that he believes hailed from another realm. Recalling the unsettling events of October 11, 1973, he emphasizes how this incident drastically altered the course of his life. Despite the passage of time, the memories of this encounter haunt him, leaving a lasting impact that he struggles to reconcile with his reality as he remains steadfast in his assertion about the unearthly visitation. Parker expressed his apprehension to the Associated Press as the 40th anniversary of the incident neared, emphasizing his strong reluctance towards the unfolding events. He articulated his sentiment, indicating a deeper version to the situation at hand. Parker found himself deeply unsettled by the overwhelming surge of unwanted focus as reporters and individuals intrigued by UFOs inundated Walker Shipyard, the workplace of both Parker and Hickson. Over the years, he made continuous efforts to avoid public attention, frequently relocating to various places before eventually coming back to the Gulf Coast of Mississippi in recent times. The event captured significant media attention, triggering a surge of UFO reports across the country and emerging as a highly scrutinized incident in history. Doubters varied from the initial law enforcement officers who interacted with the individuals to an author intent on debunking the tale, while Parker himself grappled with conflicting beliefs regarding whether he encountered extraterrestrial beings or supernatural entities. The widespread notoriety of this occurrence extended beyond mere curiosity, prompting intense investigation and debate as various voices, including skeptics and believers, offered their interpretations. Parker was just 18 at the time when he joined Hickson for a fishing excursion on a serene Thursday evening following their work commitments. As they cast their fishing lines repeatedly, hoping for a catch but without success, the two individuals were taken aback when they witnessed an unidentified flying object adorned with mesmerizing blue lights swiftly descending from the sky. In his account, Hickson, who was 42 years old at the time, detailed an encounter where three entities possessing leathery gray skin and crab-like claws, initially mistaken for robots, grasped their forearms and floated them onto the extraterrestrial vessel. He vividly described an eerie moment when a large floating eye-like object seemed to scrutinize him. This extraordinary event left him bewildered and filled with a mix of fear and curiosity. Parker claims awareness despite physical immobilization. He explained that they conducted a comprehensive assessment on him just as any medical practitioner would do. The examination they performed was incredibly meticulous, leaving no stone unturned in their evaluation process. After returning to the shore, the starting point of their strange encounter, the UFO had vanished, leaving Parker and Hickson bewildered. Parker made an effort to gather their thoughts, while Hickson, visibly shaken, resorted to consuming 3 stiff drinks from a bottle stashed in his car to steady his nerves before mustering the courage to recount the extraordinary incident to authorities. Throughout this unsettling experience, the duo found themselves grappling with a range of emotions from confusion and fear to a lingering sense of disbelief. At the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, deputies initially entertained the suspicion that both individuals might have been under the influence of alcohol. Former Captain Glenn Ryder, who remains employed at the sheriff's office to this day, recalled chuckling at the initial report, but proceeded to conduct a meeting with the two men. Parker and Hickson remained steadfast in their account of the events, unwavering in their insistence on the truth. Following the formal interview, deputies decided to leave Hickson and Parker alone in a room, strategically concealing a tape recorder with the intention of potentially capturing any inconsistencies in their accounts. This tactic was implemented to meticulously scrutinize the veracity of their statements and unravel any potential deceit. After concluding their discussion, both investigators quietly excused themselves, allowing the individuals to converse freely. Their intention was to observe whether their dialogue would reveal a sense of satisfaction in deceiving them. However, to their surprise, they displayed genuine concern and authenticity in their interactions, indicating a genuine sense of worry or unease. In the recorded conversation, Hickson conveys to Parker his overwhelming fear, saying the following, "It scared me immensely as well. The impact of such an experience is enduring. One cannot simply move past it over a lifetime. May Jesus Christ show us mercy." Ryder expressed his bewilderment, stating, "I lack knowledge of their fate. Despite my absence during the incident, one thing is certain, genuine fear cannot be fabricated, and they were undeniably consumed by fear. It was an overwhelming emotion that gripped them tightly." The following day, the narrative made headlines on the front pages of newspapers in both Pascagoula and Gulfport. This sudden exposure turned Pascagoula into a focal point for journalists and individuals researching unidentified flying objects. The fascination with unidentified flying objects gained momentum during the 1940s. According to UFO enthusiasts, this incident involved the recovery of a crashed UFO and the retrieval of alien bodies by the government. Despite fervent beliefs and theories surrounding this occurrence, the official government's stance for many years was one of steadfast denial. Following the Hickson-Parker incident in South Mississippi, the local authorities were inundated with a multitude of reports in the ensuing 2 weeks. The mystery of Eddie Page. In the mysterious saga of Eddie Page, he asserts that he possesses concrete evidence of his hybrid nature, melding human DNA with that of an extraterrestrial lineage. Through the aid of hypnotic regression, Page delves into the strange recesses of his perplexing history, unveiling a tapestry of bewildering events. Central to Page's extraordinary account is the revelation that his entire life unfolds as a clandestine project orchestrated jointly by the U.S. government and beings from distant galaxies. Astonishingly, He discloses that his paternal lineage traces back to an otherworldly being hailing from the ethereal realms of the Pleiades star system. Going a step beyond mere words, Page purports that his medical records bear witness to his anomalous nature, as his blood group allegedly defies conventional categorization. Moreover, he underlines that his official military records boldly attest to his non-human origins, a stark divergence from the norm. This intricate tapestry of claims weaves a narrative that challenges conventional understanding, permeating the realms of the unknown with tantalizing threads of hybrid identity. In the early 1950s, a series of groundbreaking experiments occurred involving the exchange of advanced alien technology to the U.S. government in exchange for its citizens. According to Page, a notable researcher, the outcome of these experiments led to the creation of a total of 32 hybrid beings with a mix of alien and human characteristics. Delving deeply into his research, Page asserts that, to this day, only 8 of these hybrids, including himself, have managed to survive. This revelation sheds light on a fascinating and mysterious chapter in history where the realms of extraterrestrial involvement and human experimentation intertwine. Cynthia Crawford asserted strikingly similar assertions when she declared that she was a product of a covert government project. Hailing from Arizona, Cynthia claimed that her father engaged in experimentation with extraterrestrial technology obtained from downed alien spacecraft while stationed in Korea during the initial years of the 1950s. This narrative divulges an intriguing tale of potential clandestine operations and unorthodox scientific practices that were purportedly conducted in the shadows of history. Crawford elaborates further by explaining that her biological mother underwent artificial insemination, receiving a combination of genetic material from her human father and extraterrestrial beings. In an interview with the Sun newspaper back in 2011, Crawford disclosed that only 34% of her DNA is of human origin as a result of this unique genetic makeup. Throughout her life, she has encountered numerous encounters with UFOs and aliens, leading her to believe that these experiences are linked to a larger program that she is intricately involved in. This suggests a complex interplay of human and alien genetics within Crawford's DNA, shaping her perceptions and interactions with the extraterrestrial realm. The world is full of unexplained mysteries and enigmatic encounters that challenge our understanding of reality. In the rolling hills of western Georgia lies Pine Mountain, a serene and picturesque location. Yet it is here that an ordinary man had an extraordinary experience, capturing a photograph of a 7 to 8 foot tall humanoid figure perched atop Pine Mountain. Remarkably, this incident took place mere days following reported sightings of enigmatic entities in various parts of Miami. The mysterious beings were a topic of great intrigue and speculation within the local community, leading to various photographs and videos to be posted to social media. A recent report states that a male individual has come forward to share a peculiar encounter he experienced during a trek up Pine Mountain. Situated in western Georgia, Pine Mountain offers a serene retreat for nature enthusiasts and adventure seekers alike. The hiker said the following: "Initially, I had hesitated to share these images, but upon showing them to a few colleagues at work, I was informed about sightings of peculiar humanoid figures in Miami. Unaware of this information initially, my friends highlighted the coincidence of my own encounter occurring merely days after these alleged events transpired. The mysterious events that unfolded in Miami surprised me and caused me to question the unusual occurrences accompanying my own experience. On the day of the encounter, the temperature hovered at approximately 14 degrees, and the sky was overcast at the time when I saw them. Despite the overcast weather, the temperature remained relatively stable. As an individual with a developing interest in photography and a familiarity with the surroundings, I couldn't help but notice the remarkable stature of these subjects. To provide an estimate, I would confidently posit that they exceeded a height of 7 feet and possessed a notably slender physique. This observation struck me due to its compelling divergence from the average physical attributes. Given my frequent visits to the area, I possess a keen understanding of the typical hiker's appearance, prompting me to seize my camera and commence photographing. While they were distantly positioned, making it challenging to obtain a clear photograph, it was still possible to discern specific details, such as their stature and physique. After approximately 60 seconds, they vanished beyond a section of the hill, and subsequently, they were no longer within my line of sight. This disappearance puzzled me, leaving me to wonder about their destination and the reason for their sudden departure from view. Upon receiving details about the events in Miami, I felt compelled to share the accompanying photographs. While it is plausible that individuals in costume may have been involved, it remains unclear why such an occurrence would transpire atop a mountain. An alternative scenario could involve a filming session, although the absence of any other individuals in the vicinity casts doubt upon this explanation. The enigma persists, and I am left pondering the true motive behind these perplexing images. End quote. In the majority of such occurrences, unraveling the truth of what transpired proves to be quite challenging. Typically, these kinds of interactions tend to fade into obscurity over time. The present-day storytelling among hikers in the region revolves around encounters they claim to have had with mysterious beings near the mountains. This has sparked speculation about the potential existence of an undiscovered population living in close proximity to these areas. Several hikers have reported experiencing visions while dehydrated or feeling threatened during their journeys through the mountains. These encounters have led them to witness the presence of a large creature moving within the vicinity. As a result of these experiences, many individuals are inclined to believe that these isolated humanoids might be inhabiting the depths of the mountains. This narrative has given rise to a widespread belief in the existence of a hidden community residing in the heart of the mountains. Reports of encounters with humanoids are not limited to the United States. In various regions, individuals have claimed to have come across hairy humanoid beings, resembling the descriptions commonly found in North America, particularly near mountainous areas. These accounts are frequently circulated in locations like Mexico, with an increasing number of people each year reporting alleged encounters with these peculiar entities. This phenomenon suggests that sightings of such humanoids are not confined to a specific geographical area, indicating a broader and possibly more global occurrence of these events. Such sightings prompt further investigation into the potential existence and nature of these humanoid beings. Given the widespread reports of these humanoid beings emerging from various parts of the world, it comes as no shock to aspiring researchers that the vast mountains on our planet could potentially serve as the habitat for colossal creatures. These mysterious beings are believed to reside within the remote mountain slopes and untamed wilderness that remain uninhabited by humans. The possibility of such significant findings has intrigued many and sparked a deep fascination with the unexplored and secluded regions of the world. Surprisingly, historical records reveal previous instances of colossal entities being sighted at the summit of a mountain. Nestled in the remote and intriguing Appalachian Mountains resides a mysterious entity, popularly referred to by the locals as the sheep squatch. While facing doubts and skepticism from some quarters, this cryptid has captivated the fascination of individuals who hold firm beliefs in its actuality. The deep-seated lore surrounding this enigmatic creature continues to intrigue and enthrall enthusiasts and skeptics alike, adding to the legend of the creature. The tale of the sheep squatch originates from the diverse folklore of Appalachia. This creature is believed to possess the characteristics of both a sheep and a Sasquatch, boasting a sizable, shaggy physique paired with human-like attributes. The earliest documented sightings of this enigmatic being can be linked to the legends of Native Americans, who identified it as the White Thing or the White Devil of the South. In the lore of Appalachia, the sheep squatch is described as a creature that roams the rural landscapes, intriguing and perplexing those who encounter it. Its existence has sparked fascination and curiosity, becoming a subject of interest and speculation within local folklore. The sheep squatch, as per local tales, was frequently held accountable for the mysterious vanishing of livestock, instilling fear within the native populations. As time progressed, the narrative underwent transformation with contemporary accounts featuring individuals who purportedly came face to face with the monstrous being. This evolution of the legend added to its notoriety and sparked a surge in reports regarding personal encounters with the creature, contributing to a deeper and more comprehensive understanding of the folklore. The sheep squatch, often labeled as a mere folktale by skeptics, has garnered credibility through numerous eyewitness accounts, varying from brief encounters to extended interactions. These reported sightings have deeply impacted those who claim to have experienced them, challenging the initial dismissal of the creature's existence. In the depths of the untamed wilderness of West Virginia, there was a remarkable incident where a hiker unexpectedly encountered a substantial two-legged entity adorned in tangled white fur. According to the hiker's account, the creature possessed facial features akin to a human, yet with striking crimson eyes closely mirroring the fabled legend of the sheep squatch. This encounter raised compelling inquiries about the unexplored realms of the natural world, prompting a deeper reflection on the folklore and mysterious phenomena that continue to intrigue and captivate the human imagination. In the rugged terrain of the Appalachian backcountry, an intriguing narrative surfaced shared by a cohort of campers. According to their account, they were alarmed by strange guttural sounds and the sighting of an imposing, hairy presence looming in the vicinity of their camping area. Allegedly, the creature emitted an unnerving, unearthly howl that left an indelible impression before mysteriously disappearing into the thick, impenetrable foliage. In addition to first-hand testimonies, certain sheep squatch sightings have produced captivating physical proof. Among the most fascinating instances is the unearthing of peculiar footprints in the remote regions of Kentucky. These tracks, distinguished by their sizable, bipedal imprints adorned with claw-like characteristics, have perplexed specialists and functioned as plausible evidence supporting the creature's presence. The discovery of such distinct tracks not only fuels speculation about the actual existence of the sheep squatch, but also sustains the intrigue surrounding this creature. The distinctive nature of these tracks has sparked extensive discussions and further solidified the mystique surrounding the sheep squatch. Hair samples allegedly obtained from reported sheep squatch encounters have been subjected to genetic testing, which has unveiled a genetic composition that differs from established species. Although these results have not conclusively validated the presence of the sheep squatch, they have introduced intricacies into the continuing inquiry. This suggests that while the evidence discovered has not definitively proven the existence of the sheep squatch, it has contributed additional layers of complexity to the ongoing investigation, thereby deepening the mystery surrounding the creature. The sheep squatch occupies a distinctive position in the field of cryptozoology, which delves into the existence of secretive or undocumented animals. Despite skepticism casting doubt due to the lack of solid proof, advocates assert that creatures like the sheep squatch deserve thorough and credible exploration. The topic of mysterious creatures boasts a rich record of bringing to light creatures that were once believed to be mythical or extinct. The mysterious and infrequently encountered sheep squatch presents an enticing opportunity for more extensive investigation, symbolizing the persistent enigmas that constantly test our comprehension of the natural world. This field continually challenges our understanding of the natural world, offering both fascination and intrigue for those seeking to unravel its secrets. In order to gain a thorough understanding of the sheep squatch phenomenon, it is crucial to delve into the multitude of theories and speculations that revolve around its existence. Despite the elusive nature of this creature, numerous hypotheses have surfaced, aiming to shed light on its enigmatic presence in the vast expanse of the Appalachian wilderness. Delving into the intricacies of each theory and considering various perspectives can provide a more comprehensive insight into the mystifying reality of the sheep squatch. Some experts posit the idea that the sheep squatch could potentially be categorized as a relic species, denoting a surviving population of an ancient mammal that has managed to endure in seclusion over numerous centuries. This proposition puts forward the notion that this enigmatic creature might serve as a divergence from the typical evolutionary trajectory, thereby accounting for its distinct and unparalleled physical attributes. There is conjecture suggesting that the sheep squatch may potentially belong to a yet-to-be-classified category of primate or hominid, possibly associated with the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. The seclusion and out-of-the-way location of the Appalachian Mountains might serve as a refuge for these mythical creatures. This has sparked discussion and theories surrounding the existence of this elusive creature and its hypothetical lineage. A theory that delves into more speculation posits that the sheep squatch might possess interdimensional attributes, enabling it to move between various realities or dimensions. This proposition could shed light on its elusive tendencies and its apparent capability to materialize and vanish at its own volition. This intriguing perspective suggests that the sheep squatch's enigmatic nature could be linked to its interaction with alternate dimensions, offering a compelling explanation as to how the creature suddenly vanishes. The sheep squatch, a mysterious creature rumored to roam the Appalachian Mountains, remains an enduring enigma that captivates the imagination of believers. Despite skepticism surrounding the authenticity of reported sightings and tangible proof, the persistent folklore, first-hand testimonies, and significant standing within the realm of cryptozoology emphasize the necessity for extensive exploration and analysis. The sheep squatch's enigmatic nature continues to spur curiosity and speculation, making it a compelling subject for those delving into the depths of law in the Appalachian region. In the course of our exploration of the enigmatic aspects of the natural world, creatures such as the sheep squatch stand as a profound testament to the enduring fascination with the mysterious. While maintaining a healthy level of skepticism is pivotal in the pursuit of scientific knowledge, it is equally important to approach these enigmas with an open and receptive mindset, recognizing that they may harbor the potential to unveil new perspectives on the intricate and interconnected tapestry of life on our planet. As long as tangible evidence remains elusive, the sheep squatch continues to remain a captivating puzzle that entices us to venture into the unexplored realms of our world, urging us to embrace the mystery that surrounds us. According to a former UK paratrooper and military intelligence officer, British Special Forces retrieved a non-human ship that was shot down in northern England in the late 1980s. Veteran of the British Army's elite parachute regiment, Frank Milburn, claimed to have spoken with an agent of the MI6 run team that conducted the purported mission. A pair of disc-shaped UFOs that were flying faster than their fighter jets at hypersonic speeds were pursued and fired at by the British Royal Air Force crew. But he declined to disclose the identity of his former partner, citing security concerns and his need to stay secret. The veteran shared startling details of a narrative his comrade from Special Forces told him after they both left the Army in an exclusive interview with news outlets. He claimed he wanted to support previous accusations made by American whistleblowers regarding a covert UFO crash recovery program. Frank Milburn claims that his friend worked with Squad E, a covert, clandestine, and paramilitary force that specialized in covert operations back in the 1980s. Formerly called the Increment, Squadron E brought in the most seasoned and reliable operators from the Special Air Service, Special Boat Service, and Regiment of Special Recognition of the United Kingdom's Special Forces. The CIA's Special Operations Group and Joint Special Operations Command, which are composed of Tier 1 forces like Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, are the American counterparts of the squadron. According to Milburn, his friend participated in multiple high-risk operations across the globe, including one that took place in his native nation in the late 1980s. He claimed to have told him they were stationed in a troop-sized group, maybe consisting of 20 or 30 Special Forces operators. He said that a ship that was not American, British, or Russian had been taken down and added that their mission was to secure and reclaim the ship in England's north. They were flown there in a helicopter, and he stated that it was obvious that the ship was not human and that there were occupants who had left the area on foot, which led to a task of tracking down these beings to try to take them into custody. They left a portion of the force to guard the ship. Maybe 6 or 8 men should have been left to cordon off the ship, and the rest would have been tracking these escaping beings on foot, in quads, or in large off-road vehicles with help from a helicopter. Everything was totally out of our control after that. Milburn claimed that his friend informed him that technicians and scientists had arrived in the region and that his team had been flown away by helicopter, leaving them to never hear again about the downed ship. And even though he declined to provide her with any further information and offered no proof for his amazing tale, the ex-paratrooper claimed he believed his former elite comrade's word after vetting him alongside other SAS veterans. He said that he has complete faith in him. After leaving the military, he spoke with the person and said that this individual is a very good skydiver. He talked to paratroopers and his former SAS colleagues, and they were discussing a man who courageously engaged in some of the most difficult combat during the Falklands campaign. He made the observation that this is not the kind of person who talks nonsense or jokes. Up until the late 1990s, Milburn was employed by the U.S. Army Special Forces and the U.S. State Department's Office of Diplomatic Security as a contractor in the Middle East. The mysterious Mike Foss encounter. One cold November evening in the mid-1970s, 27-year-old Mike Foss saw a mysterious shimmering object while driving home to rural South Dakota. By the time he got home, the object was hovering near the property, which added to the strangeness of the situation. The Foss family was left absolutely perplexed by the 3 further sightings that transpired over the course of several weeks, beginning with the strange sighting of Mike and his parents. After the encounters, UFO investigators looked into the case. But despite their best efforts, No plausible explanation could be found. And what they actually saw is still a complete mystery. Following his recent divorce, Foss was residing at his parents' house on a farm they owned around 7 miles south of Milbank, South Dakota at the time of the encounter. Furthermore, despite having a natural aptitude for architecture, Foss was forced to work as a significantly less strenuous part-time switchboard operator for the Milbank Police Department due to a severe physical problem. Nevertheless, he was eventually seen as a reliable witness, possibly as a result of his employment. Especially considering that his father, Norman Foss, was also a South Dakota highway patrolman for nearly 20 years. On November 27, 1976, at around 6:30 in the evening, Mike Foss left for home after stopping by a Milbank auto body shop. The clear night had helped to bring the temperature down to almost zero even though it was still early evening. He saw what he later described as a mysterious light without a source, an extraordinarily bright, blazing orange light above him on his right side while driving on Highway 77. For the next few minutes, he continued to focus on the light object, and finally, he turned into a graveled country road that led to his parents' farmhouse. He noticed the mysterious object seemed to be hovering over a field at the side of the road as soon as he turned onto this one. And at this point, he stopped the car so he could have a better look, even though he was still inside and the engine was still running. Initially, he assumed the object was probably a helicopter, maybe a police chopper on a patrol or searching mission, but as he continued to observe, it became increasingly clear to him that whatever he was seeing was a little more unusual. His mind was suddenly filled with terror at this realization, so he stepped on the throttle and drove as fast as he could to his parents' property. He made the decision to tell his parents what he had seen as soon as he returned home, and then he would accompany them back to this spot to continue watching the thing. Mike was honking his car's horn to attract his parents' attention even before he pulled into their driveway. With a scream, he brought the car to a stop and dashed home, calling out to his parents as soon as he opened the front door, telling them as soon as he could what he had seen. He persuaded them to accompany him, and when they reached the front door together, Mr. Foss led his son out to his automobile. However, before they could leave, Mike abruptly came to a stop. The thing that Mike had noticed on the desolate road moments before was there, both in front of them and above them, estimating that it was 100 feet ahead of them. It seemed like it had followed him home. At this distance, they were able to make out that the object was clearly formed like an egg, with a blue glow at the bottom, and various colored flashing lights on the upper half that appeared to melt into one another. For 20 to 25 minutes, all three of them were fixated on the thing. It spent this time between the barn and the hog house until it started to gently and steadily walk away from them, finally vanishing into the distance. Although none of the family members knew what to make of the incident, they all agreed that they had witnessed something utterly unusual. Furthermore, the Foss family would continue to experience weird occurrences even though they were unaware of it at the time. More information would emerge in the days and weeks that followed as UFO investigators worked through the case. For instance, Mr. Foss remembered that on the night in question, he had been watching television when it suddenly started to act strange shortly before his son arrived home. Mr. Foss would go on to say that the television only typically behaved in this manner during strong winds when the antenna was being hit, leading him to believe at the time that a sudden wind had picked up. Interestingly enough, the television reception had returned to normal by the time they went back inside the house after the object vanished. In addition, Mr. Foss was the one who realized that the object had to have been perfectly silent the entire time, and he remembered that as soon as he stepped outside after Mike got home, he could hear traffic on the interstate, which was about 2 miles distant. Additionally, he remembered seeing the wing lights of an airplane and could hear it going by. If the much closer object had been making any noise at all, he and Mike and Mrs. Foss would have definitely heard it since he could clearly hear these other sounds. Mr. Foss and Mike also remembered that the object's radiance illuminated the entire yard. Mrs. Foss, incidentally, had been wearing opera glasses as she viewed the proceedings via the kitchen window. As it drifted off into the distance, she kept watching the item, and after a few moments, she said, it seemed to pause and shoot out a few red balls from its side. These balls floated in different directions away from the object. One of these balls abruptly halted as she was examining it, then burst into silence. The thing had almost vanished by the time Mike and Mr. Foss came back inside. Mike would also say that when he saw the object again, much closer, he felt no fear at all, even though the first time when he saw it from the quiet roadside, he had experienced a rush of terror. He explained that he thought anyone who could produce something like that could have easily hurt him the first time if it had been hostile. In the coming days and weeks, Mike started having odd, recurrent dreams in which he found himself on a hilltop on an unfamiliar planet with a purple sky. He explained that some of the unusual vehicles he saw traveling through the sky were silver, some were black, and that it appeared like a war was going on. He never got over the idea that the weird object he had seen would return, especially when he dreamed about it. The object did, in fact, return 3 more times between November 27th and December 11th, 1976. These 2 sightings were the first 2 that came from a distance, but when the Foss family saw it a 3rd time, it was much closer, precisely as close as it had been the first time, hovering once more between the barn and the hog house. This 3rd occurrence really unfolded almost exactly how the previous one did, with the object visible for around 25 minutes before vanishing into the distance. However, it just so happened that Mike's police radio frequency scanner was turned on automatically this time. The thing appeared, and then the bandwidth was filled with a burst of static. The Minnesota Highway Patrol uses frequency 7. Therefore, it didn't really matter if it was the frequency that locked in. After reporting the incident to Millbank Police, Mike at this point sent a patrol car to the property. A moment later, Police Chief Ben Amsden arrived at the Foss property. But by the time he reached it, the object had receded significantly to the point where it was now only a faint glow out in the distance. Nonetheless, the officer did write in his report that he saw an odd orange light as he got closer to the home, and that glow seemed to fade over a few seconds as though the source of the glow was moving away from the house. Additional corroborated witnesses were located during this specific sighting. Don Adams, a barman at a nearby club, approximately 2.5 miles from the Foss property, and his spouse both reported seeing the object near the local radio tower. Nevertheless, the potential that the reports were really wildly inflated observations Venus was taken into consideration by the investigators. After all, at this time, the planet was highly conspicuous in the southwest sky. Mike responded with certainty that they had already noticed Venus, stating that it was not what they saw, and added that there was a big difference between the aircraft they witnessed and Venus. In light of the radio interference, investigators also looked for any unusually high radiation levels near the hog house, barn, and other areas of the property. Oddly enough, the family's 7-year-old German Shepherd unexpectedly fell ill on December 12, 1976, the day following the final sighting. The veterinarian checked him the next day and found that the dog had suffered from a stroke of some sort. A closer look appeared to reveal that one of the animal's primary veins had ceased functioning. Unfortunately, the poor dog passed away at the end of the day. Whatever the Foss family saw over the course of many weeks in the latter part of 1976 is still a mystery. It's also unclear if Foss or his family had any more unusual experiences in the years that followed, possibly ones that were not documented. It is certain that they witnessed something unusual during those 4 nights in the autumn of 1976, especially since Officer Amsden and Don Adams, along with his spouse, also reported seeing what seemed to be the identical object during the final sighting. It has caused UFO researchers to wonder if the Foss family's 4 separate sightings of what appeared to be the same UFO twice in close proximity in the exact same location on the property were just a coincidence, or if there was another, possibly strange explanation for the strange craft's appearance. Popocatépetl, the majestic and active stratovolcano located in Mexico, has long held a place of reverence in indigenous cultures and captivated the imagination of locals and tourists alike. However, in recent decades, it has become a hotspot for another kind of phenomenon that defies easy explanation: the frequent sightings of unidentified objects above its peaks. Anonymous have just posted an interesting video showing mysterious objects flying in and out of the volcano. The volcano's unique geological characteristics could play a role in the prevalence of mysterious sightings. With an elevation of over 5,400 meters, its towering presence pierces through the clouds and becomes an ideal vantage point for skyward observations. The volcanic activity, including eruptions and emissions of gases, could create unusual atmospheric phenomena that could be misinterpreted as unidentified objects. Light reflections from the volcano's activity and clouds might also contribute to optical illusions, further complicating the distinction between natural occurrences and extraordinary sightings. However, many who have witnessed these objects have said that they have the ability to hover motionless and fly directly into the volcano, something that hasn't been documented with natural occurrences. Indigenous cultures in the region have revered the volcano as a sacred entity for centuries. It is intricately woven into mythology, often associated with deities and cosmic significance. The cultural heritage surrounding the volcano could influence local perceptions and interpretations of unusual phenomena. Legends and stories passed down through generations might predispose individuals to attribute extraordinary sightings to mystical or supernatural events, including unidentified objects. In recent years, there has been a notable shift in the reputation of this volcano. While it was once known for its natural beauty and majestic presence, it has now gained attention for something altogether different. Both residents and online observers who have been monitoring the volcano through webcams have observed mysterious aircrafts flying directly into the volcano. Numerous reports claim that what is observed near the volcano is not merely ash, but rather peculiar entities and luminous phenomena frequently spotted hovering in the vicinity. Some witnesses even allege that these enigmatic objects are capable of entering and exiting the volcano, further adding to their mysterious nature. The presence of these unexplained lights and unidentified aerial phenomena has intrigued and perplexed many observers. Moreover, the webcam footage has not only captured the mesmerizing sight of meteors hurtling directly into the volcano, but has also revealed instances of multiple meteor occurrences in a single night. This phenomenon, which has left many in awe, is considered to be incredibly rare, defying the slim probabilities of such events taking place consecutively. Consequently, the astonishing footage has prompted users to explore alternative explanations and theories, seeking to unravel the mystery behind this captivating spectacle. The reasons behind the curiosity of these objects towards this particular volcano are still a topic of debate. However, it is worth noting that on multiple occasions throughout the year, peculiar objects have been observed in close proximity to this volcano, which has spurred the creation of intriguing theories regarding why this volcano seems to attract such attention. An in-depth exploration of these theories can shed light on the possible explanations for why this volcano serves as a significant focal point for these mysterious objects. The volcano has garnered significant attention from amateur researchers due to numerous reported sightings. This has led to its classification as a hotspot, as users have observed multiple unidentified objects in the vicinity of the volcano. It's worth noting that these observations are merely a fraction of the total sightings, as they represent only the instances captured on camera. The frequency and volume of these unusual objects have piqued the curiosity of researchers, prompting a comprehensive exploration of this phenomenon. In-depth investigations are underway to unravel the mystery surrounding these sightings and understand the nature of these enigmatic objects. Residents residing in close proximity to the area have reported frequent sightings of luminous lights in the vicinity of the volcano. This phenomenon has intrigued the residents as it appears that these lights possess a peculiar fascination with the volcano itself. Interestingly, these sightings are not limited to the immediate vicinity of the volcanic area. Photographic evidence has revealed that these mysterious lights also traverse in and out of the volcano. This intriguing observation raises questions about the nature and purpose of these lights, leaving researchers and locals alike wondering about their origin and significance. Glowing orbs, frequently captured on webcams, are commonly observed objects that have gained significant attention worldwide. They are widely regarded as one of the most frequently reported mysterious flying objects. These ethereal spheres pose a considerable challenge to photograph as they manifest as mere luminous smudges when captured on camera. Their elusive and enigmatic nature has intrigued people from various cultures and regions around the globe, sparking a sense of curiosity and fascination. As of right now, amateur researchers have questioned whether these unidentified objects are interested in volcanoes. The skies above Earth have long been the canvas for mysterious phenomena, none more captivating than unidentified objects. These enigmatic aerial apparitions have been reported in various contexts and locales, sparking curiosity and speculation. One particularly intriguing scenario involves unidentified objects allegedly showing interest in volcanoes. Volcanoes are geological marvels, releasing immense energy from the Earth's depths. Some theories speculate that mysterious objects could be harnessing this energy for their own purposes. Volcanic activity generates high levels of thermal energy, electromagnetic fields, and even plasma discharges, elements that might hold significance for advanced civilizations. It's conceivable that unidentified objects could be utilizing these powerful energy sources for propulsion, communication, or other technological functions beyond our comprehension. Volcanic landscapes on Earth are abundant with unique mineral formations and geological structures. Advanced visitors might be interested in studying or extracting these resources, which could have properties or applications unexplored by human science. This could include elements used in advanced technology, rare minerals, or materials that hold intrinsic value in interstellar trade or research. These mysterious objects could be engaged in scientific exploration and observation of Earth's geological processes. Volcanoes are dynamic natural laboratories, offering insights into planetary formation and tectonic activity. For a technologically advanced civilization, observing and studying Earth's geological phenomena could contribute to their understanding of planetary evolution and even help them predict natural disasters. Speculative theories propose that unidentified objects might be using volcanoes as entry points into Earth's interior. The complex network of underground tunnels and chambers created by volcanic activity could provide covert access for advanced spacecraft. Volcanic regions could offer hidden bases, shielded from human detection, and accessible through natural openings created by lava flows. Volcanic areas possess immense geothermal energy potential. These aircrafts might be tapping into this energy source for various purposes, from recharging their craft to powering advanced technologies. The abundance of geothermal heat could be harnessed through advanced energy conversion methods, aligning with the sustainability principles of an advanced civilization. Someone found this huge object above the Eastern Pacific. It was captured using the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Tropical Pacific Weather Channel. The man who found it put the recording on a loop, and during this, a huge triangular object appears. Oddly enough, the man stated that the object is around half the size of Mexico. The triangular object was caught hovering above the ocean and was detected by satellite. The man who found it said that he's never seen anything like it, noting that he often checks this live camera feed, and nothing of this size has ever showed up before. The man went on to explain that the object was visible for over 7 hours, saying that it wasn't just a random cloud formation or glitch, and said that it stayed in the same location. These black triangle objects have been witnessed for several decades now, with researchers into the unknown saying that sightings can be traced back hundreds of years. These enigmatic triangular crafts have been spotted all over the world, leading to fervent speculation and debate among researchers and enthusiasts. Black triangle sightings began to gain prominence in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Witnesses described these crafts as large, dark, silent, and triangular in shape, often with bright lights at each corner. These sightings caught the attention of researchers who were intrigued by the consistent descriptions from witnesses around the globe. Black triangles have been reported in various countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, Mexico, and Japan. Witnesses describe seeing these crafts hovering silently in the sky or moving at high speeds. The origins of these black triangles remain a subject of speculation and debate. Several hypotheses have been proposed to explain these sightings. Skeptics argue that black triangles are classified military aircraft undergoing testing or surveillance operations. The secretive nature of military programs could explain the lack of public acknowledgement. Interestingly, though, various eyewitnesses have reported seeing these black triangles hovering above the ocean. While many unidentified objects are witnessed in the skies above land, there is a growing body of evidence and speculation that suggests these objects may also have a significant interest in the oceans. One of the primary reasons these objects might be interested in the oceans is the abundance of water. Earth is the only planet known to have vast oceans of liquid water, a precious resource that could be of immense value to advanced civilizations. Water is essential for sustaining life as we know it, and it is possible that unidentified objects are searching for or monitoring Earth's oceans in their quest for habitable environments. The oceans represent some of the most explored and diverse ecosystems on Earth. These deep and largely unknown environments harbor an incredible variety of life forms, many of which are yet to be discovered by humans. It is conceivable that these objects, equipped with advanced sensing technologies, are interested in studying these unique ecosystems and their inhabitants to better understand the diversity of life in the universe. One intriguing theory put forth by some researchers is the possibility of submerged bases in Earth's oceans. If unidentified objects are of advanced origin, it is conceivable that they might have established bases underwater to remain hidden and undetected from human observation. These underwater bases could serve as research outposts or staging areas for their activities on Earth. Numerous sightings have been reported in close proximity to marine life, particularly with regard to encounters with whales and dolphins. Some witnesses have described these objects emerging from or submerging into the ocean, suggesting a connection between unidentified objects and marine life. This has led some researchers to speculate about potential communication or interaction between these objects and Earth's intelligent marine species. Another speculative theory is that unidentified objects may be interested in extracting resources from the oceans. Earth's oceans contain vast amounts of minerals and elements, some of which may be scarce or highly valuable in other parts of the universe. Advanced civilizations may view our oceans as a potential source of valuable resources, leading them to explore or exploit these underwater reserves. The oceans are also home to various forms of energy, including geothermal vents, which release hot, mineral-rich water from beneath the Earth's surface. Such energy sources could be of interest to advanced civilizations seeking sustainable and renewable energy solutions. These aircrafts might be monitoring or harnessing these energy reserves to power their craft or other technologies. The vastness and depth of the oceans offer a convenient environment for concealment and surveillance. These aircrafts could use the ocean as a hiding place or base of operations, especially given that human exploration and surveillance technologies are less developed underwater than in space or on land. The ocean's depths also provide an effective shield against human detection. As of right now, the Earth's oceans are a fascinating and mysterious aspect of the broader phenomenon. While there is no definitive evidence to confirm the reasons behind this apparent attraction, numerous scientific theories and speculative ideas offer plausible explanations. Whether these objects are drawn to Earth's oceans for resources, water, or the study of marine life, their presence and activities remain one of the greatest enigmas of our time. This isn't the first time that something like this has been detected, and former workers have come forward and detailed that these objects are occasionally witnessed. Back in February 2008, a team of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration scientists embarked on a routine research expedition aboard their state-of-the-art research vessel. Their mission was to study marine life and oceanic currents in the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. However, one of the workers said that this voyage would lead them to an encounter that would defy their understanding of the world. As the vessel sailed through the tranquil waters, the scientists immersed themselves in their work, meticulously collecting data and observing marine creatures. Dr. Walker, the lead marine biologist, had always been fascinated by the mysteries of the deep sea. As night fell, the team continued their observations under the shimmering moonlight. Suddenly, an unusual blip appeared on the ship's radar, catching the attention of Dr. Walker and the crew. They were puzzled by the mysterious signal as there were no other vessels reported in the vicinity. With a sense of anticipation, the crew followed the radar signal, leading them to an area where the ocean currents seemed to converge. As they approached, an eerie silence enveloped the ship, broken only by the gentle lapping of the waves against the hull. Then, out of the darkness, a breathtaking sight unfolded before them. A massive, triangle-shaped object hovered above the water, emitting a soft, ethereal glow. The mysterious craft seemed to defy the laws of physics, maintaining a steady position in the air without any visible means of propulsion. Amidst the astonishment, Dr. Walker quickly grabbed her camera and began capturing images of the otherworldly spectacle. The crew members, equally mesmerized, exchanged bewildered glances as they tried to make sense of the inexplicable sighting. Captain Reynolds radioed to other National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration vessels that were in the area, reporting their sighting with an air of incredulity. The situation was unprecedented, and the crew knew that their encounter would be met with skepticism back home. As the night wore on, the enigmatic triangle object remained suspended above the ocean, seemingly unbothered by the presence of the workers. Dr. Walker and her team observed the object's peculiar light patterns, noting how it occasionally emitted bright flashes before dimming again. Suddenly, the object started to move, gliding noiselessly across the sky. The crew watched in awe as it soared effortlessly above the water, leaving behind a faint trail of shimmering light. The object then made a quick getaway and was not seen for the rest of the mission. Oddly enough, the cameras were taken from the crew, and they were told not to speak of their encounter.